I endured so much pain already. I thought, man, I reached the pinnacle. It was on a 1 mile track, flat.
Why were you doing this? Because you were trying to be uncommon amongst
Right.
uncommon.
I was trying to raise money for Special Operations Warrior Foundation. It's a foundation that gives 100% tuition to special operators' kids. So if your dad died, he was a special operator, your kid goes to school full tuition. Great foundation. So I found a foundation. I was like, I gotta find a way to raise money. So I found this race called Badwater 135. I didn't know anything about ultra running, knew nothing about it. Call a race director up, it's all in the book. I even had the emails in the book from me and Chris Kostman going back and forth. And he basically says, you have to qualify for my race. I was like 200 and some odd pounds. I was a bodybuilder now, wasn't a big runner. I literally did 20 minutes on the elliptical trainer every Sunday. That's it. That was my cardio. I lifted weights, and that's what I did. So I call him up on a Wednesday, and he says, basically to qualify for the Badwater.
Which is 135
miles through
the
Death
desert,
Valley.
Through Death Valley.
In the summertime. I thought it was a stage race where you ran like 5 or 6 days, because I didn't know that was humanly possible. So I called him on a Wednesday. He said, you gotta qualify. There's only 2 more races I could do to qualify for the Badwater before the deadline ended. One was in San Diego, Saturday. So Wednesday to Saturday, but 3.5 days, 3 days, it's not a lot of time. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'm gonna go try to do this race. So I go out here, have a blue lawn chair, Ritz crackers and Mileplex, and I'm gonna see my crew person every mile. And I get to mile 50, I literally detail it perfectly in the book, but at mile 70, I'm broken. I didn't train for it at all. 0 training for this race. But this is when I start realizing, man, my God, man, this is when I realized we are not even trying. Because at mile 70, I was in the worst pain of my entire life. I was broken. I thought my 3rd hell week, I was really bad off. No. There's nothing I can ever imagine being worse than this race. And it was the easiest 100-mile race I've ever done in my life. Ever. But I wasn't prepared. And so at mile 70, I'm literally in this chair and I'm pissing blood, I'm crapping up my back, I'm in the worst shape of my life. And I'm like, I need to quit. I need to quit. But what I did though was through my life, I realized that your mind wants to quit. It's called the 1-second decision. I call it the 1-second decision, when your mind is spazzing out. And it's like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. We're miserable, let's go home. And at mile 70, I was there. But I didn't get there till I sat down. It's like, oh my God, my blood pressure dropped, I was dizzy, lightheaded, and the pain just came over me. Because my body thought I was done, in my mind. So I sat there and said, you know what, I might quit. I knew I wasn't, but what that might quit did was it kind of gave my mind all that anxiety and let it go. Because my mind said, oh, he's gonna quit. So we're gonna sit here for a while and just sit here. We're done. So I literally start to get food, hydrate up, and I'm dizzy, I can't stand up. So now, after a while, I stand up. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna quit. But once again, I knew I wasn't. There's a trick to the mind.
So you're fucking with your own mind.
That's right. Give
Advanced
your mind,
level, this is black belt
that's
shit.
right. Give your mind a little bit of space. Because if it knows I have 30 more fucking miles to go, and I'm in the worst shape of my fucking life, my mind's gonna say, no way, dude. So you gotta give it some space. Say, you know what, if I can stand up and walk 1 mile, this would be the biggest achievement of my life, because I'm death. Right now, I'm death. If I can get up and walk 1 mile, that'd be the best thing in my life. I walked a mile. And I won't go too deep into it all. I got 2 miles. Maybe I'll try 3. I did this to mile 81. At mile 81, the person crewman was like, hey, you know what? Basically, I knew I wasn't gonna make the time because I was crawling around that track, crawling. And this is the eureka moment. This is it. Out of my whole life, this is the one time, this is when I realized that we are fucking way way cutting ourselves short.